Hey guys, HouseMate212 here, and today we are going to be doing my first Bucket plugin review. Now I'm going to be doing Bucket plugin reviews and mod reviews while I'm setting up the BTCraft server for you guys in the live stream, which will be really fun. I think that we're all going to enjoy that. But what this plugin is it's called DungeonMaze. It's a world generator that generates a survival type world, and the world, it has a 7-layered custom dungeon in it with a lot of custom features and things, fairly few commands, so it's very simple to use. You just create a world, teleport to it, and survive with your friends. Right now I'm in 1.7.5 for you guys to know. I'm using a very simple server host, so it's not working too well because it's recommended for 1.7.2, and I had an error where it said please do R0.2 or something like that, or R2, 1.7 R2, and defaultly the 1.7.2 for the hoster is 1.0, and I can't change it. So I guess I have to do versions up and up. So okay, so we're going to be looking at a few things. We're going to be looking at the config first, and then show how the worlds work and all that jazz. So let's move on to the config files. Okay guys, here we are. So I'm in the config. You can see we have the server.pro hoster here. This is what I'm just using for this, So underneath worlds here will be a list of the worlds that you create, and then the preload worlds will actually preload the world for you, which I think is really nice and handy. You can unload worlds on plugin disable. That will mean that if the plugin is put into disable mode, which means just like you moved into a disabled folder or something, then and you kept all the files, you just moved it, it will just unload all the worlds. So for you, so they won't show up. So then you have the allow surface. This means that it's not going to be an infinite dungeon under the ground. There's actually going to be a surface that you can get up on, which is nice. I mean, some people like that. However, some people like full dungeon worlds. I'm completely okay with that. WoT protection, classic WoT protection, like WoT guard. And then block whitelist. This is if you have WoT protection on, you can allow certain players to break certain blocks, or interact with certain blocks. That's all you can do, just interact. Then there's the update checker. You can say if it's enabled or if it should notify in game. I'm just going to keep that true for now. We have use permissions, so you can use permissions in this thing. If you put the permissions in like a server.properties file or use a permissions plugin, you can just put the permissions in there, and if you do use permissions, then it will actually link up, and So then we have mobs. So we got Blaze, Creeper, Enderman, Ghast, Magma Cube, Pig, Zombie Pig, or Pig Zombie, whatever, Silverfish, Skeleton, Spider, Zombie. So if you want to add more mobs, you can. You can add whichever mobs you want. You can even add the Ender Dragon, I bet, but I mean that would be way too overpowered. Okay, so that is kind of what this is. It's just, a normal config file, and once we create the world, it'll show up here and also preload right there. So that is the config file. Okay, so now we're going to check out what the world looks like and how you set it up. So if you type /dm help, here are all the helping commands. So let's just create a world now. You gotta type /dm create world, and then the name. So for this we'll do test, and now you wait for it to load. Okay, so as you can see, the world's loaded. It just teleports you right away saying the world has been successfully generated, you've been teleported. Once you enter, it actually makes explosion sounds all over the place, which I think is pretty cool. As you can see, very custom dungeon. You have chests here to place any items that you want to leave, because if you have like keep items from your previous server and you have that for this, you can let them either keep it and move on, or If you want these to be community chests before they move out, that's fine. This is just the default spawn for the world. I mean, you can go up to the surface if you would like. So as you can see, it's like a big giant mine shaft. All these custom blocks all over the place. I love it. So we're going to be taking some torches here just to see the areas. You can see here prison bars, lights. I can already hear zombies and I'm lagging like crazy. It's basically supposed to be a giant dungeon maze. So you find your way through the dungeon, see if you can get some chests with some really cool stacked items. I mean, here's something right here. It's a sand wall, old rail tracks. I mean, you can get a lot of minerals from this if you want this to be like a survival or something, like a survival resource area where you can get resources, or if you just want this to be plain survival, you can. So let's keep going down. Big open area gash right here, as you can see. This is actually how, now I realize how these actually form. TNT actually explodes when you spawn in, so no, it's not sounds that you, like, it's not just pre-generated sounds that you hear that are on purpose. It's actually because they purposely spawn TNT all over the place to make big wide gashes for everything. So this is a library. I love these. Free enchantment tables, free books, and also free chests. So yeah, it's pretty hard to find some loot. I don't know how you can change the chests and stuff. That would probably be in the config, but maybe it would take a while to load. I mean, you never know. And then you can go down to the next level. So we were probably on level 1 or something. So you can see over here, yeah, there's where the TNT blew up. You can have no drop from TNT, I guess, and it would work. But you can hear spawners. Here they are. So this one's a spider spawner. So this would be a spider mini boss, and you get this out of it. So there's definitely a few things in this that I think are really cool. Deeper you go down, the harder I believe it gets. So if we fly around here, yep, here's a zombie. This is on easy, by the way. If you want it to be way different to actually get, cool. So if you want, again, certain mobs to spawn, then that's perfectly fine. There's miniature boss areas. It's very hard to find them, though. I have yet to find one. And of course, if you leave the world, you can always teleport back to it at any time. I recommend that you have multiverse for this. This will make it a lot easier to go into the world itself. And remember, there's no way to delete it unless if you remove it from the config file itself. So, you know. And then there's a very quick thing you can do, which is, so I'd actually recommend a few plugins for this that go alongside with this plugin itself. So I just have DungeonMaze on right now. I'd recommend that you guys use this in factions. So like if you get factions, that would be perfectly cool, really cool, because then you just get dungeon areas to yourself. If you'd want that, as you can see, that's pretty tough. So then the next one I'd recommend is probably Magic. Magic is a plugin where you can use magical spells. It's a lot easier to roam around the place. Use Magic if you want it to be easier, like to roam around if you have a Magic RPG server. Or if you want it to be hardcore, don't use it. You can see ores spawn here too. And also the final plugin I'd recommend is MCMMO, because that would also work with a lot of stuff. As you can see here, here's a skeleton spawner. The more you go down, a lot tougher it gets. Here we are, finally. Okay, so I just found a miniature boss fight area, and this is a blaze area. So as you can see, welcome to the blaze area. This is where you can find some blazes. Loot out of this is definitely really good. So, all in all, guys, very creepy ambiance, very amazing plugin itself. Big wide open areas, a lot of just big mazes or whatever, torches in it. So I'd recommend before you come in here, get a lot of torches, do whatever you can. This is going to be a tough run for you. Especially with ghasts in there. I know that there's a ghast arena somewhere also. Oh yeah, here we are. So this right here is a creeper spawner, as you can see. So that's a creeper one. And all the way back here we saw another blaze. So that's all I'm going to basically do. You guys can explore whatever you'd like out of this amazing plugin. I really enjoy this. I rate it like a 8 out of 10, mainly because it hasn't been updated for a long time. Probably the plugin developers have abandoned it or whatever, and they just haven't marked it as abandoned. I don't know. It's just a really cool plugin. It could work in 1.8. I mean, they said 1.7.2 R2 plus. So be aware of that, guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed this plugin. Make sure to leave a like and comment and subscribe for more videos. And I hope to talk to all you guys later. Bye-bye.